There is only one love, but there are thousands of imitations of it, said Francisco La Rochefoucauld, a French writer and author of philosophical and moralistic works. The truth is that love comes in different forms, and it can be very difficult to recognize it. Don't believe me? Judge for yourselves. In winter, a man and a woman were walking along a path. He took her hand and whispered tender words that pleased her greatly. I can't live or breathe without you. You are the most beautiful. Look at how the snow shines in your hair. It's like you're covered in diamonds. My treasure. Another woman passed by and also heard his words. Ah, she sighed to herself, that's love. I wish my husband knew how to love me like that. At that moment, she called her husband, whom she had just thought of. It's winter, it's freezing cold, and you're not dressed warmly enough. Do you want to catch a cold? He grumbled at his wife, wrapping her in a warm scarf and putting a hat on her. Now it was the woman who was walking with her gentleman on the path and listening to his compliments who sighed. Ah, what a thoughtful man. It's clear that he loves her very much. Why isn't my husband like that? Ray Bradbury, an American writer known for his dystopian novel Fahrenheit 451, his Martian Chronicles stories, and his partially autobiographical novel Dandelion Wine, once said, "Love is when you want to experience all 4 seasons with someone. When you want to hide with someone under the blooming lilacs after a spring rain, and in summer, pick berries and swim in the river. In autumn, make jam together and protect the windows with cotton against the cold. In winter, endure colds and long evenings." That's probably true. But even if you have someone like that around you, and you still want to know if they truly love you, you just have to ask them one question, and you'll know from their answer if they are sincere in their feelings. The question is formulated in a parable that you are about to hear. A man who longed for solitude saw an ad in the newspaper and read the address of a woman who wanted to correspond with someone. He thought about it and wrote her a letter. She replied, and they began a long correspondence that lasted for several years. She wrote to him, telling him that she was going through a difficult time in her life and that his support helped her get through it. She told him that he had become the only close person to her and thanked him for it. Then the man decided that he could not continue living apart from this woman, so he wrote to her saying that he was eager to meet her in person and never be apart again. "What do you think I should be?" the woman asked in her response letter. "Just as you are," he replied without hesitation. "Then come here. I'll be waiting for you at the pier with a bouquet of my favorite lilies in my hands." And so the day of the meeting arrived. The man arrived at the place where his beloved lived and headed for the pier. But to his great disappointment, instead of a beautiful woman with a bouquet of lilies in her hands, a frail and wrinkled old woman was waiting for him. The man was confused because he expected something completely different. He even wanted to turn around and leave, but he remembered the kind letters from the woman and changed his mind. She didn't deserve to be treated that way. He approached her and introduced himself. The old woman smiled at him and said, "I am the grandmother of the one who loves you. My granddaughter just wanted to make sure that you truly love her and are willing to accept her as she is, just as you have said." At that moment, a young and beautiful woman with lilies in her hands approached them, and the man understood that true happiness awaited him with her. According to the theory of American psychologist John Gottman, an emeritus professor of psychology at the University of Washington, to know if someone loves you, you have to observe their behavior and, in general, the manifestations of their feelings. Or simply ask a question and immediately get the obvious answer. Ask your loved one, "What should I be?" If the person you love starts listing all imaginable and unimaginable qualities, you have a lot to think about. And if the answer is, "Just as you are," you can be sure that they truly love you, and all you can do is reciprocate in the same way.